Thanks so much for joining me for part 2 of how to analyze literary devices. Now, where we left off in our previous video was recognizing the unique nature of literary devices. As I had said, no two devices are the same. And what that means is not only do they have different purposes in why they are being used, but they also have different effects. So in terms of analysis, this is where you need to be focusing your energy. If you haven't watched those videos yet, but you are already here, I suggest watching it first. The link to that video is in the description below. Hello again and welcome, my flourishing English writers. My name is Tracy Duranjo and I am the founder and director of Master Key Mentoring. If you are finding these videos super useful, don't forget to like, subscribe and click the notification bell to stay on track with your English goals. You can also find me at our Facebook page, our website, and this wondrous thing called YouTube under Master Key Mentoring. Now, if during our last video you were thinking, but Tracy, aren't there more than one literary device in any given quote? You would be right. There is. It is a great thing to be aware that you have more than one choice when it comes to identifying literary devices. There are always multiple devices at play, and each of those will produce a different meaning. But there is only one that will best serve your argument in terms of specifically addressing the analysis that you are trying to put forward. So what you need to be asking yourself is, what am I trying to prove or illustrate? And which device best serves my purpose? We are going to jump straight back into 1984, where Winston Smith was watching helicopters spy on citizens. So this was the quote we were examining. In the far distance, a helicopter skimmed down between the roofs, hovered for an instant like a bluebottle, and darted away again with a curving flight. It was the police patrol, snooping into people's windows. Now, we had specifically looked at imagery and the comparison being made between the helicopter and the bluebottle, as highlighted here on this slide. And now we are going to look at other devices at play within the exact same quote. Some of you may be thinking, why would I want to do that? Let's just move on to another quote. And the answer is simple. We are trying to get you to work smarter, not harder. By working smarter and not harder, we are trying to leverage what you do know. And that's really important, because that means we are able to use your existing knowledge to build a deeper understanding. We want to celebrate your small wins to keep your momentum going. You know, why undertake a whole new obstacle that may overwhelm you when we can tackle what's in front of us and achieve that exact same thing? By deconstructing a single quote even further, we are developing your skills of analysis. It clearly highlights to you the different devices and how they produce different effects. And I just like to show you that a lot can be done with a very little. So if we go back to this quote of Winston and take another look at it, we can see that there are a number of different techniques being used here. Not only do we have the imagery and the simile of the helicopter and the blue bottle, but we also have the point of view of the narrator. We also have oxymoron here with the police patrol and snooping, and we also have the symbolism of the police patrol itself. So let's break these devices and their effects down. Here, where we are examining the point of view of Winston through the narrator, it offers us an insight into Winston's thoughts and observations. This is important because as our protagonist, Winston provides us with an understanding of his world. But not only this, it is how he views his world. His attitude tells us a lot about his personal situation and his temperament. Secondly, we have oxymoron. and that is produced by the juxtaposition of police patrol snooping. The juxtaposition of these contradictory ideas is quite jarring, and that is deliberate. We associate the police with justice and protection, but here we see it as an invasion of privacy. There are overt connotations here of the police spying on its citizens at random and at will. And thirdly, I specifically wanted to look at the symbolism of the police itself and what is evoked by that. Here, as I mentioned earlier, it is an inversion of their role. Instead of protecting citizens, we see here an abuse of power. So the very law which is meant to serve and protect its people is being used as a weapon to serve the interests of the state instead. And we got all of that from just one quote. Now, this is a great skill to develop in terms of your analysis, but when it comes to actually writing an assessment or during the exam itself, you have to think, what am I trying to illustrate? Based on what your thesis or main idea is, you will need to choose the best fit. So you need to think carefully and choose wisely. What is your line of argument? What ideas do my devices illuminate? And which device serves to prove my argument best? Now, if you're thinking, well, why do I have to choose? Can't I just use multiple devices as part of my analysis? The answer is yes. And you are about to level up your whole English game by doing so. You can 100% use a couple of different techniques to make your point and beef up your analysis. The factor of the matter is that these devices are used in conjunction with one another to make the text multi-layered and have depth. So what you want to be able to do is use a couple of different techniques to corroborate your ideas. For those of you who do history, you should be familiar with this idea, but you are essentially giving yourself the best possible chance to prove your point by analysing it from different angles. This will demonstrate your ability to identify and understand nuances within your text. So if you're ready to level up your analysis, you are going to identify a couple of devices. You are going to use them in conjunction with other devices, and you are going to take your analysis to a whole new level. Woo! So, can you see what that looks like? Why, yes, you certainly can. So this is our previous paragraph that originally was just analysing the effective imagery and simile within the quote. But now we have integrated additional analysis to combine it with the analysis of narration and point of view. The comparison of the helicopter with a blue bottle evokes an image of an ominous surveillance society. The helicopter descends in front of windows and snoops upon people, its presence as ubiquitous and as natural as a blue bottle itself. This imagery of the police patrol illuminates the perversions of the powers of the state and indeed the inversion of Winston's world. Further, Winston's matter-of-fact observation is an unsettling insight into life in Oceania. Such violations of privacy are normal. As such, his point of view not only highlights the omnipresence of the police patrol, but how individuals' attitudes are fundamentally shaped by their existence. More disturbingly, much like a blue bottle, Winston possesses a fatalistic acceptance their presence cannot be eradicated. So the question is, can you do it? Give it a go and let me know how you go. We have a very small following at the moment, so don't hesitate to comment below and I will respond to you. Firstly, let's recap what you are going to do. Remember, you have more than one choice. So you need to be looking for multiple devices in any one quote and choosing the one that best suits your purpose. The whole idea of this is to work smarter and not harder so that you can build on what you know. Every device has a unique effect, and you want to be able to identify those as easily as possible. You need to choose wisely. Make sure it works. Don't just go with the first thing that comes to mind, because there may actually be a better suited example for your argument. So make sure you clearly understand what is your argument and what device best suits that argument. You can totally level up your analysis by using multiple devices within your analysis to bolster your writing. And finally, practice. Practice makes perfect, my dear students. Never a truer word spoken. So make sure you are getting familiar with this as soon as possible so that you're not leaving for the last minute before your exam. Thank you so much for joining me for part 2 of this video, and I hope you found it useful for your own writing. As I said earlier, you are welcome to reach out to me and I will respond. Don't hesitate to pop a comment into the comment section below.